Schönen guten Morgen. Thorsten, Schrotti, Lukas, vielen Dank für einen Zeit beim 25. Kuss und Platin, einen wunderschönen. Support Mod, grüß dich. Aber eigentlich clever. Aber ne. Rico, grüß dich. Emma, Ding Dong, Parkgold, moin. Und Thomas, ein wunderschön. Ja, heute könnte ein bisschen weniger Chat-Interaktion sein als sonst. Ein bisschen geschwitzt. Ein Friseur, Ding Dong. Und vielen Dank, wenn ihr uns habt. Tobis Heat fährt, glaube ich, gerade schon, Quali. Schauen wir gleich mal, wie es da läuft. Danach fährt Basti in seinen Heat und danach bin ich dran. Eigentlich eine tolle Szene vorbereitet, wo wir easy den Stream gucken können, aber irgendwie lädt das bei mir nicht so richtig. Das ist ein Unlucky. Schön zu spät gebremst. Ach, ich denke. Egal. Ach, schau, grüß dich. So. Probieren wir mal, ob die Szene funktioniert. Wäre auch zu schön gewesen. Das ist irgendwie immer nicht über einen Firefox regeln.
Will be somewhat lengthy day. Plenty of racing left to come. Let's not forget 3 heat races, and then the second chance race, 2 quarterfinals, a semi-final, and potentially a best of 3. With what I've heard, Lewis, is also a team manager race along the way. The team managers got together before we went racing, or qualifying, I should say, for heat number 1, and we'll take a look at that slightly later on.
Yeah, indeed. I'm sure that will be entertaining. If maybe and hear me out here, maybe a touch crash happy. We'll have to wait and see. I'm expecting a big one, I'm not going to lie.
I've been told Florian Hosper is going to jump onto the PlayStation next time and do the team manager race on Gran Turismo 7. So we're going to hold him to that one.
When do we get invited?
I mean, do you have a PlayStation?
I do.
I mean, then let's...
no one wants
No,
to.
come on.
No.
4 Minuten.
Get our controllers
Stark.
out for the next one.
Yeah, alright, go on then. Bet.
Ich darf fast an Colli anfahren hier.
Just you and me. See how long it takes us to get around a lap of one of the many tracks available.
Do you reckon we should do the whole, well, as I say, it's kind of hard to do when you're not in person, but we'll see, maybe at the season finale.
Wie viel ist jetzt noch? 3 Minuten irgendwas, oder?
Do the pedals, I'll do the steering, see how we can survive.
That's a fun challenge.
Okay, wir fahren noch einen Colli ran. Olli, grüß dich. Spannend. So. Eine Runde noch, dann Rennstart. So. Warte, eine Schmutzrunde. Sniper, vielen Dank, ganz ab im 40. Alter. So ist konstant einigermaßen da.
Obviously the favourite potentially to get another victory here at ERL. In interesting that it's McCormack, Grunewald and Blyer, 3 drivers that we did see all competing towards the front back on ACC.
Yeah, and I think, Lewis, we're expecting fireworks here. Let's not forget, in the first round, or first heat, I should say, in a set of course of Competizione, we did kind of see some teams struggle. It puts the pressure onto their teammates in heats 2 and 3 to deliver the pressure.
Certainly so. Well, the first race of the evening then will take us down into the first corner for the first time here on Le Mans Ultimate, the second round of the VCO Esports Racing League. Powered by Nitro Concepts, of course. McCormack from pole position, waiting for the prime opportunity to start this race on the right-hand side of your screen. The orange highlighted LMP2, of course, alongside
the
team that they took all the way to the final just a couple of weeks ago. We begin the racing down in the first corner. It was a good reaction to the start of the race, though, from Gabriel Solomon, who's coming through the middle a little bit there for the Coanda team. He'll get to the inside, potentially here, of Grunewald for the first corner. A bit of leaning all over each other as McCormack has the whole shot through the opening turn. Here comes Blyer straight back through into third.
And they did trip over each other slightly further behind, but Solomon got pinched.
Einfach schön Pit 2 mitnehmen, easy.
And that cost them. And this is where the track opens up slightly. You can see them going aggressive further behind, but it's Erhan Yayovsky alongside of Solomon as they bang doors up towards the middle sector.
Solomon leaning a little bit there on Erhan Yayovsky, trying to come through the middle in the unliveried R8G car. We ride on board with Nicholas Matteo now on the back end of Davidson. Yayovsky's remained in 5th position, but it is almost a 1-second lead from Darren McCormack, who's trying to check out from the rest of the field.
And this is where I think we're going to see how much downforce this fixed setup has, because the more downforce it has, the more dirty air you'll see in that middle sector, and that will grow the gaps and make it more difficult to take advantage at the end of these long straightaways. So into turn 1 for the second time, Lewis, expect some of these drivers to be aggressive. Jacob Osterman, excuse me, in the BS Plus competition car, he sat back in 10th.
Bislang jetzt noch nicht so das ganz große Chaos, ne?
Down the inside, I believe, on Merles, and might just about sneak the move by the time they get down to T4, but I'm not sure about that one, whether he's going to actually be able to carry the speed up there. Did see one of the spins, by the way, in the background, I believe, was Jack Keasley for TC Esports coming out of T1 on the opening lap of the race. That move is complete. Osterman now moves up into 9th, Merles down into 10th, and we ride on board with Magnani, of course, in 11th.
You can see at the front, Darren McCormack's built up a gap, but the top 5 are somewhat spaced out, and I think that's maybe where their comfort is going to be key. And so for Coanda, R8G, Williams Sim Racing, Team Nitro, and Virtus Pro, they have started off this round on LMU with a high. It means their second and third drivers have a little less pressure. The last thing they'll want to do is be
Sehr denn gemacht. Das auf den Wiederkennst mit meinem 40. Kuss. Timing ist aber ein bisschen scuffed. Ende.
Solo comment there, but it did look like it was solo. Maybe someone else went in sympathy as well, and Jack Keithley was able to rise his way through. Solomon, and I think Yayovsky potentially going side by side again for 4th position, but it is the, oh no, it was just the time, don't worry. Obviously the Coanda team then remaining in 4th position. Yayovsky, I would expect to be able to rise his way through. There's only 7 minutes left to go in the race.
But again, it goes back to what I was just saying before the incident. What you can also do by fighting.
Bin verwirrt, ne? Tut sich Matteo.
Then would cost you. The last thing that R8G would want to do is put themselves in the second chance race, and the pressure that comes with that, Lewis. We saw just how crazy that was in our first round on Assetto Corsa.
Aber vielleicht clever, wenn ich das hier noch ein bisschen nach rechts tue, ne?
A lot more chaotic and action-packed than it was a couple of weeks ago, and that, in my mind, better. We'll see. Obviously, we have to wait until we get to that point. I'm very curious to see which team will be in that. Of course, at the moment, if you look at things as they are, obviously we're in the opening race today, so things are going to change a lot. It would be the same 2 finalists as it was a couple of weeks ago.
That's a good point, actually. Could that be an ominous sign for what's to come? A couple of teams that are doing well, World Sim Racing, Alexander Davidson, and even Merles for Delatraz Automotive. I think, Lewis, that's where their experience in this sort of car, even on other platforms, can be helpful. You kind of understand what a downforce car wants to do, and so Remember, top 10 teams will advance directly into the quarterfinals, and then 2 teams from the second chance race. So
Natürlich schön, wenn Tobi und Basti einen guten Job machen und ich dann überhaupt keinen Druck mehr habe. Dann schauen wir mal, was passiert.
Yeah, of course, over the 3 heats we have here, like you say, you take your 2 best results, and then we take the top 10 teams. Realistically, as we've said quite a lot, and this does sound obvious, but it really, to hammer it home, you have a far higher likelihood of progressing from the heats than from the last chance, because in here, obviously there's 23 teams, 10 of them go through, which means that realistically your chance is slightly below 50%, right? You go into that last chance race, only 2 progress from 13, so it is far more unlikely that you are going to progress on that one, as we do see yet another move.
Jakob hat Quali gekackt scheinbar.
Osman's working up the order for BS competition.
Maybe not a surprise, it's the heaviest braking zone on the track where the move is possible to take a bit of the up and under, but BS Plus moving forward. They've got 2 strong drivers in heats 2 and 3, so Osterman just hoping that he can, again, do as much as he can to make their jobs a bit easier. Stan Vliestra racing for Referox Esports. They're not really able to put much of a fight up. You can already see the gap that Osterman's been able to close onto the back of Alexander Davidson.
Tobi sitzt da schön im P2 rum.
Yeah, clearly Osterman. Again, I have seen
Alles entspannt.
RFT a little bit. Does have some pretty impressive speed here around the Sakira International Circuit as he slipstreams right up to the back of Davidson. Is there going to be another move down into T1? Like you said, it was the heaviest braking zone on this race circuit. It is the easiest opportunity for a move, but sometimes if you go for that move down into T1, it can take you all the way up to T4 before you're actually...
Ah, Tobi, ich habe so viel gebottet bislang. Ich bin nicht eine gute Quali-Zeit gefahren, muss ich sagen. Auch eben im Practice, das war Rennen. Oh. Quali habe ich noch nicht eine Runde hinbekommen. Richtig clever. Aber da wird richtig gebottet. Oh, wird schon schief gehen.
Niklas Mateo for Drago Racing, who now sits in a bit of no man's land with just 3 and a bit minutes left to go.
Yeah, indeed. Well said. Just a touch on the topic, more towards the front of the field. We'll see if Osterman does go for a move here down in the final turn. I think he'll wait until the opening corner with 3 minutes and 20 seconds left to go. Of course, Darren McCormack leading the race at the moment. He'll be the first driver to take a win on multiple platforms this season of ERL, which is obviously a great feat. Interesting that he only had 1 win 2 weeks ago, though, on ACC, which would arguably be one of his favoured platforms, one of the many favoured platforms for him. But still, it was just a single victory.
I think he got involved in a bit too much drama as Jacob Osterman, big lockup of that right front. It's a good thing there's only 3 minutes left in the race.
Ich sehe Content.
Davidson's a tough nut to crack. He does not like to be passed, as many racing drivers don't, but he is putting up a stern defense right now, and it's closing those behind as well. And
ja.
That you can see on the left side of your screen. 5 positions is 5 points, and so if you have a bad qualifying, the last thing that you can do is sit down and let everyone else walk over you. It's good to see some of these fight backs, but Lewis, they have multiple chances to qualify. Hopefully qualify a bit higher next time.
Yeah, indeed. Qualifying actually for race number 2, I believe, is already underway. So we'll have to wait and see once we jump into there as to who's on pole position in the second.
Fahren wir doch noch an.
Locking enabled.
Quick setup, yes sir. Schon wieder gekackt. Ja, das sollte gleich nicht passieren.
Log building finished. Logging enabled.
Ja, thank you, Sam. Just no bottling. Interessant auf jeden Fall. Fangen wir an zu labern. ich denn hier für einen Schmarrn zusammen?
Time 107.15.
Nicht gut.
106.44.
Also konstant ist da, das war's aber dann noch.
Log building finished. Locking enabled.
Einfach eben in Rennpace schneller. Und sagst du komplett gelockt. Jetzt.
Log building finished.
So
Basti von P4. Oh, einfach keine Scheiße bauen, dann sind wir schon safe durch.
Already Ate Kalpanen's made it 3 of being just inside of the top 10, and it could be RG Bargy as we head on to the brakes for the very first time. Collins is going to cover the inside line, and Chinchik will try to sweep the momentum the long way around. He'll tuck back in behind, side by side behind, as they sweep their way on through Payage up to third.
Yeah, certainly so. A couple of drivers having a big look in the background. I think Komplettes Juniors got up into 5th position, sitting behind Andonovski.
Oh, und da wird gekegelt.
Up into 7th round and backwards to Sven back. Komplettes Junior making some progress. There is
Wird das gekegelt worden? Uiuiui.
Well, the pressure now
Das kann big werden für uns.
third and final of the Virtus Pro drivers. Ellis Jr. will try and recover to the best of his ability. Already back up into 18th.
I was going to say, let's not count this out. It was a big crash. There's going to be a lot of cars that have a lot of damage, and I'm expecting
Oh,
there's going to be
1, 2, 3, 4. Schön vorne weg.
Charlie Collins leads the race with Chinchik and Payich and Richter as well. The top 4. They seem to have a bit of a breakaway back to Ate Kalpanen.
That's where all the trouble was, just behind them, and so I'm expecting no moves inside of these front 4 positions and 4 teams. Well, 3 teams that will feel confident in moving forward. Visceral had Stubenrap finish just inside of the top 20 in Heat 1. Marco Page just putting them back into contention, and it will all be on Grantus Caracas in the 3rd and final heat to try and deliver as well.
Yeah, the Owls Esports team, by the way, a retirement from this race. Caballero is unfortunately out of it. Let's see what happened in all of this.
Den Lodger komplett gekegelt.
There was
Du Scheiße.
coming into the corner from the Veloce car, and then it all just kicked off from there. Iamulo slightly down the inside, and then basically everyone was just a part of it.
Yeah, and I wonder if he had just overcommitted and just blindsided the braking zone, but that was the trigger for the madness as it was. But that's where race control will step into things, and once again, very glad that we are not in their position, because boy, are they going to be busy for the rest of the night.
Yeah, it is going to be a long one for them. Let's see what happens. So there was actually...
Geht gleich für uns los. Haben wir noch einen Run. Ein bisschen zu viel erwischt. Aufgesessen. Kommen in die Kurve nicht rein. Mehr untersteuern als sonst. Los geht's. Das ist ja auf 3, sehr gut. Wieso? Ja, übernutzt auf jeden Fall nicht. Okay, Konstanz ist da.
Log building finished.
18 haben gereicht, ne? Ja. Ich hab's gehört, ja. Sehr gut. Ne. Boah, diese Tröte, ne? Teuer war die Runde immer noch nicht. Naja. 10. noch im ersten Sektor alleine. Jo, danke der Topse.
Teams and drivers go to the grid for a race
Alter,
start.
4 Minuten. Okay. Halbe Ewigkeit.
Moin Meister.
Und grüß dich. Und Knuddel, grüß dich.
Ja, Junge, er fährt mir einfach rein, what the fuck? Alter, Alter, die Leute sind doch verloren, wirklich.
Oh ja, grüß dich. Das Rennen geht 10 Minuten. Immer ganz kurze Rennen die ganze Zeit. Vier Minuten Good Time ist echt lang. Oh, danke dir, Stefan. Wie viele Minuten hat wirklich Zeit, um alle deine Lebensentscheidungen nochmal zu überdenken, ne?
Logging enabled.
So, vielen Dank für den Prime-Sub. Tschüss.
Formation lab has started. Green flag, green flag.
Okay. Spannend.
That time was a 1:07.14. Time 1:06.59. Lap 1:06.74.
Oh, Programm erledigt mit einem Schreckmoment.
Log building finished.
Oh nö. Ernsthaft? Ach so, das ist der einzige Grund. Okay. Okay. Wo muss ich da hin? Okay. Ja, habe ich einmal fast weggelegt. Alter Walter. Ja. Schau mal, ob ich wirklich hin muss. Ob ich gezogen werde oder nicht. Ja, das war Heat 1, ne? Also, war nur ein Heat. Ist irgendwas passiert? Das ist natürlich unlucky. Wer ist? Pit-Limiter drin. Perfekt. Sagen, wenn die mich ziehen würden, ich würde es kaum hören, meine Karren, ne? Weiter Channel. 2 Interview-Waiting Rooms, perfekt.
Lewis McLeod standing by with Heat 3 winner Niklas Houben.
Certainly so. Nicholas joins us here in the commentary booth for one. Excellent performance from you and your teammates there, coming through as the top seed into the quarterfinals. Talk to us about that. Is that what you were expecting coming into tonight? Is this a platform that you were expecting to be this strong at?
More or less. In the couple last weeks or months, we were focusing a lot on LMU. So, yeah, we expected to be kind of good. But up until like couple hours ago, we were not sure where we exactly stand because we don't have any times from the other guys. So we're a bit surprised how fast we are. But yeah, we take it.
Do you think there's any teams that are potentially maybe not holding back, but haven't shown their full potential in the heats there?
Yeah, the qualifying is very important. And if you somehow don't hit your lap and it's only 5 minutes, yeah, you start not in first row, you start not in second row, maybe in fifth row. For example, what happened to Jakob. And yeah, maybe if everyone is able to drive freely, they are faster, but yeah, you have to hit the quali. So probably a lot of guys that should be much faster than this.
Obviously, Bahrain Outer is a pretty, relatively speaking, unique circuit compared to some of the other ones we may race. Obviously, a lot of high speed, some maybe awkward corners, but obviously not too many corners, a lot of straights. Is that good for racing, or is it because you were able to check out quite a bit there? Is racing in this car quite difficult around here? So again, hammering home how important qualifying is.
It's not easy, especially in the heats where you don't want to risk anything unnecessary, because it's very easy to lock up in dirty air and hit someone completely out of the corner. So you have to be very cautious. So I probably expect more sense in the later stages of the day, but it's very hard to not, bottle it then.
Well, Nicholas, congratulations on a very well-deserved victory. Yet another one for the Team Nitro team here in the Esports Racing League. We'll catch up with you potentially around the quarterfinals.
I hope so. See you. Thank you.
Here we go on to highlights from the race. Nikodem Vishnev's
So. Gute Frage. Keine Ahnung. Ja, Fabio, was ab? Yeah, it's alright. It's alright.
Heats 3 podiums for the team, including that all-important victory. Superb performance. Nice also to see 3 teams taking victories: Virtus Pro Commander and, of course, Team Nitro in there. So a lot to talk about from there. Of course, they are looking at it, a race control. So we'll have to wait and see if there's anything to be questioned there. But I'm not sure how much will change in that group.
Yeah, I think the top 10 is probably somewhat locked in. I don't think we're expecting too much, but Race Control still needs to go through the motions of wrapping up all investigations. And so while they do that, Lewis, we have the opportunity to have some fun earlier today.
Ne? Also auch gerne hier reingucken.
It's not just managers, had a staff race. And so we are going to take a look at the action as it unfolded. Now, should be noted, this was an
oh, jetzt kommen die Highlights von René.
Alexander Delatraz, so I think that's Team Nitro and Delatraz Automotive on the front row, Gregory Balati and Albert Rogue on row 2.
Yeah, Balati, obviously.
Das Stream leckt. Hat auch gerade selber.
Alongside, in front of starting from 7th position, with Neil starting from 8th.
Max Jonadet in 9th position with Vasil Tudor alongside. That's the top 10. And I think there was just a couple more cars. Alexander Ginter, Adrian Navarro, 11th and 12th positions. And maybe just one
Haben wir eigentlich einen Practice-Server, den wir gleich gehen können?
Who was a late addition. He jumped in very, very late. So a big thank you to all of these team managers and team staff members, Lewis, for being willing to have some fun amidst the seriousness of what is the rest of the esports racing.
Einfach 5 Stunden Practice machen, also wenn es geht.
Yeah, indeed. This is look, it's always a little bit of fun. This actually.
Ja, ich hab andere Szene für.
We'll let him say his piece. I still maintain these races actually hold a lot more importance than you think.
Nicht so aus, ne? Kein Ching Chong Chang.
Team manager, and you're there to chat some orders and pass on some information to your drivers.
Als Teammanager.
Trust that you know what to do behind the wheel of a car. Right? So there is importance here.
Oder Shiro nerven das einen aufmacht.
Say for example, I'm a driver for BS competition of Felix Van Delft, messes up this race, spins around. I'm going to be sat there being like, mate, you can't chat nothing to me.
I love that attitude. I love that side of things. And you are right. There is a certain.
Aber es gibt 2 Interview-Rating-Teile, habe ich gemerkt. Unlucky. Ja, hab auch gesehen. Klar. René hat auch geliefert. Geil. Also nicht wundern, ihr hört die anderen Jungs im Discord nicht. Aber ich rede ab und zu mit denen.
Is tucked into the toe and is going to try and put the pressure on in that Delatraz Automotive by Major's Garage Machine. R8G's all black entry pops its way to the inside as they scurry out through the opening corner. On board with Felix Van Delft, had to give some room to Visceral as here comes Joachim in the Coanda Machine as well.
Aber es ist erstmal Second Chance, oder? Dann fahren wir es.
Also to come through, dropping down to 7th position. Bit of a look to the inside as they work their way down into T4. This is Vasily Tudor trying to get to the outside of Navarro as they work their way out. Navarro, of course, TCE, I believe, and a bit of side-by-side ahead as Van Delft. Is that?
Was ist denn da passiert alles? Ach du Scheiße.
Just a little bit. I think that was with Jonadet for the
Yeah, that's the manager race that was recorded before the event, like a couple hours ago.
chance to really set up and wind up the engine as they drag their way down towards turn number 1, but big
René hat die einfach mal alle gegroundet.
is a lot closer in the mid pack.
It'll be hilarious if this actually ends up being the most entertaining race of the day.
Alex, vielen Dank für 3 Monate im Voraus. Kuss. Was machen die denn da? Und nochmal.
You know, the best thing about this race is that all of these drivers will be having a laugh when they get involved in incidents instead of being very, very serious about it. About the only time that they'll be able to smile about a crash today. That's further down now at the back of the field. Already one driver back in pit lane as they swoop their way up through turn 4. Big lock of the inside brake. Just about gets us stopped in time.
Yeah, Navarro now looking to the outside in the black, yellow and blue highlight car. There is also a big move coming here as Juliet. Big lock up, big spin as well. Oh, just over the wall. Well read from Navarro. He's going to get past both of them.
You got to give these drivers credit because they didn't have as much practice as the rest of the field has had through the 3 heats. So they're putting on a good show and having a big smile on their face as well. Here comes Yoki.
Junge, guckt der denn die ganze Zeit?
Urge the car on. Oh, this is the karting lean right now that he's doing up to the opening corner.
Fun here. Obviously, this being earlier on in the day, knowing how well this is going to go for Coanda, so probably a lot happier now even. Trying to go for the up and under to try and get past the Visserkart, can't do it. By the way, I'm getting some live commentary from Felix van Delft. He said this will be an interesting watch. Now has then just said, now watch the most generational drive of your lifetime. I am ready.
Okay, the pressure's on because he better drivers with
Also, Gesichtskirmes ist aber mal anders am Start bei dem. Und das alles mit Pran, Junge. Scheiße. Ja, rechtzeitig schalten würde er helfen, aber ja. Nicht Lewis. Warte. Bild. Marco, grüß dich.
I hope we do this before every round now because this is fantastic. And by no means a big gap at the front of the field either. René Sievert not running away with things by any means. Not the best run through the braking zone for Kalevala.
Run.
Not going to be
Richtig
an
Bock.
opportunity up through 1 and a bit too far back behind for the purple and orange to even think about turn 4. We're not even halfway through this race though, so still 6 minutes on the clock. Plenty of time for these drivers to squabble
the absolute
amongst each
gold.
other.
Undisputed.
Is out on the circuit. Better not be Felix van Delft, otherwise I'll be like, well, what are you talking about, generational drive? He's got 5 seconds ahead of him as well. This is it's looking like a pretty generationally chill drive at the moment. As Jongenil now also joins this fight for 5th position, right there, knocking at the door. The rest of the group ahead have been able to check out a fair margin, half a second between 1st and 2nd, half a second between 3rd and 4th, and basically half a second between 5th, 6th, and 7th, with Van Delft closing in the background.
And I think, again, some of these team managers and engineers are really proving to their drivers just how much they need to be listened to. Especially those top 2. They are putting on a cracking performance so far, and I think their times are probably not that far off. Franocha's got to deal now with the challenge into the opening corner. Able to swerve and avoid the initial move, but then to the back of Kalevala. Race control. Can you take a look, please?
Yeah, right. That is a slam dunk penalty point there.
Jetzt gegen Justin fahren können.
Actual tally. Hilarious. Obviously not. We are joking on that one. Kalevala back now to 8th. Well, I mean, I think. Is he slowed down? Or is that?
That's confidential until the end of today.
Is that different? No, that's not him actually. Yeah, no, that's someone totally different. So this has been a wild race for some of these team staff members. Up at the front, René Sievert's not totally broken away as we were saying. 4 minutes left to go.
Oh, no.
Should be about 4 laps left to play as well. And Alexander Delatraz, who is a very rapid competitor on iRacing in the
oh, geil! Ich glaube, René dreht sich jetzt, wenn ich das richtig verstanden habe.
Ja, Junge, er fährt mir einfach rein, what the fuck? Alter, die Leute sind doch verloren.
René?
René Sievert has gone straight on at T1, is able to bring it back to the apex of the 2nd corner.
Merkst du was? Rechnen ist nicht gut.
That wasn't as bad a lockup as what we saw. There was drama in the background as they went through turn 2. And oh, Joachim, did he get involved again?
LMP8 with a spin, ja. Alex, grüß dich. Läuft bislang gut. Heat 1 ist Tobi Zweiter geworden, Heat 2 ist Basti Dritter geworden, Heat 3 bin ich Erster geworden. Ne, hier beim Teammanager-Rennen auch Erster. Das war gut.
And remember, fixed setup as well. There's no difference in downforce. It's going to take some bravery to make the move into turn 1.
Gone, 3 minutes to go. 3 laps left on the clock. Let's see if there's going to be a move here from Delatraz. Feels the mirrors and absolutely full sends it. Slams that brake pedal down to the outside though. Rennie Sievert's going to go straight around the outside to hang on. And the spin for Delatraz.
Unlucky.
Pushing a bit too hard as he gifted Rennie Sievert with now 2.5
alles Spannende vorbei, das. Perfekt. Ja, gut gemacht, René.
And so it's going to be Gregory Belatti for RAG that now sits in second as the generational drive has seen Felix van Delft up to 4.
Grüß dich. Ich fahre mit wow. Grunewald und Richter. Und in dem Fall Sievert. Ja. Zu Hause gönnen. Wir haben noch Viertelfinale, Halbfinale und Finale im Idealfall. Also schauen wir mal. Und wer René hier? Es gab vor dem Event, also vom Verstanden gab es ein Teammanager Race so als Unterhaltung. Achso, nur René. Ja.
What is the point, though? What is the point? What is the point in having seats? Is that just a light immersion thing? What's the dealio?
Wie Vertrag, ja, ne? Gerade ist angefangen. Mehr oder weniger. Zumindest der Racing-Tag. Heute habe ich um 5:45 aufgestanden heute, also morgens. Muss man ja dazu sagen bei mir, ne? Bin dann irgendwie ab NLS geguckt, bin von 8 bis, keine Ahnung, 1 auch schon mal hier gefahren, irgendwann später nochmal gefahren. Oh.
Pushing just a little bit too hard, but maybe as well showing the lack of practice for these staff members.
The generational comeback is on though. Felix van Delft on the podium. Hope this is the only generational comeback that I see this weekend, because if I see one from Team USA, I might throw my TV out the window.
Golf for those that don't know where he's going with that one.
Yeah, classic. Always.
Stimmt, WEC haben wir auch noch geguckt. Die Quali. Ja. Und ziemlich viel fahren. Und halt dann nochmal von 4:45 bis 5:30 habe ich nochmal ein Nickerchen gemacht. Und jetzt sind wir hier.
Fastest team staff member in the Esports Racing League, powered by Nitro Concepts, Rennie Sievert. Back-to-back wins for Team Nitro, who are on top so far in the Esports Racing League.
4 races, 4 podiums, and again, that is a team manager.
Digga, geil.
Some information from, and I respect the driver, because I mean, you can't not now. Now when he's, if he says jump, you do say.
Das Event heute, boah. Fast Mitternacht, glaube ich.
You need to now tell his drivers to jump as high as they can, and we should film it on camera. Power of the team manager. Final couple of cars will come to the line, and then we'll grab a chat with Rene, because we need to ask exactly what he is going to do with this newfound power that he has got.
Yeah, indeed. Obviously, he's a quality driver, and that has most certainly been proven there. ERL team staff race, a bit of a mouthful. Winner Renee Sievert, classic banter, great drive.
Great drive, and Lewis is standing by with the man himself.
Oh, da ist er. Ist das ein Süßer.
And from your team thus far this evening, because technically that's 4 races done and 4 podiums. You must be incredibly proud of the team and yourself.
Ich glaube, wir kennen das schlimmer als bei mir.
First of all, great to be back and great that we have ERL again, because I think it's 3 years ago since the last ERL event. So yeah, feels quite good to be back. Of course, winning the first round was a great feeling for all of us, and also I would say a great start into the second event with LMU. Yeah, so very proud.
Ja, das war leider ein bisschen langweilig. In der ersten, könnte man schon fast sagen. Spannendste war, ob der Verstappen geschafft hat, den Rundenrekord zu brechen, aber auch schon wild. Aber leider waren die auch die ganz Großen nicht dabei. Das wird noch lustig. Auch sehr interessant.
Yeah, of course. I think the biggest point is that ACC has no competition this year. So what we did,
Den Einschenk war wild. War richtig wild.
quite early.
Aber ohne Scheiß, ne?
Did some testing myself.
Gefühlt hatte der aber auch ein anderes Überhollicht, ne? Das war, also, wenn du schon aus 300 Metern Entfernung so einen bekloppten vierfachen Weltmeister anfliegen sollst, der schon die Lichthupe festgeklebt hat, ich glaube, da bist du der Letzte, der dagegenhalten will. Noch ein bisschen weniger als bei den anderen. Der Ferrari-Bob ist nur eine Frage, ne? Der hat nochmal 15 Kilo bekommen, wenn ich das richtig verstanden habe. Aber, ja. Schauen wir mal.
Esports event in LMU to the States. So Esports Racing League is the first big event, big esports event.
So.
So you never know which teams are
Am
good there.
Server.
So I mean, with R Factor 2, you had like
Oh ja,
they had their own bubble, I would say, and now it's a bit more popular, the simulation, and a lot of drivers are having fun driving it. So the competition is yeah, a bit better, I would say.
One more question before I let you go and sit back and watch the second chance race from the sidelines to see how that one's going to unfold. Because it was really hilarious. But obviously, you as a team manager, you say they were obviously being very busy. How much do you talk to the drivers and stuff as the evening goes on, or do you kind of just like let your drivers do their thing, basically do what they're doing, or are you instrumental in every single race?
Ja, aber manche GT30 waren richtig wild. Aber eigentlich sollte man meinen, dass so ein Stippler einigermaßen okay ist.
They're driving in a huge pack and like doing the work of a spotter, but yeah, for this round it's a bit different, and also I would say as a team manager we are a bit
Da hätte man auch absolut komplett Aussage gehabt, ja.
Only communicate to the drivers if they have like incidents or feel like they have something to say, and other than that we just cheer them up, and also I'm quite confident in them. So, yeah, they know what they do.
Well, Rene, thank you so much for jumping on for a chat, by the way. Always good to get a different perspective, and congratulations on your win earlier on the day.
Yeah.
Muss man sein anschauen.
Great to be back.
There we go, Arjuna. Another race done, another victory ticked
Nicht
off,
dumm?
and as we now get ourselves ready for the second chance race, I say we're already getting some favourites showing themselves.
Wie ich das denn jetzt geschafft?
Anyone get through this and maybe survive their way into the semi-finals?
I think it's going to be very interesting to see a
Perfekt, interessant aufgelegt.
Team Nitro, Coanda Esports, Williams Sim Racing, Virtus Pro, R8G, Visceral, Drago, Rafa ERA, BS Plus, and TC. Those are the 10 teams that will go on forward, and so it means I've got them printed out in front of me and everything.
Ich habe meinen Handschuh gesucht, den ich irgendwo unter meinem Tuch, was ich immer zum Trockenmachen benutze, hingelegt habe. Der Staubsaugprofi.
Marco Lomi for Gladius, Federico Servi for GTS 92, Gerard Burrell for Owls, Jack Pitters for Quartermaster.
Das ist gar nicht mal so unpraktisch.
Lucas Mateo for Samantha Tan, Patrick Den for the United Sim Team, Aidan Walshingham for Volkswagen Master, and Kamil Grabowski for World Sim Racing Esports. I've got 2 names that stand out to me there in terms of the teams. Are you thinking the same too?
Am lautesten ist am Anfang tatsächlich beim Staubsauger ist, wenn der anfängt, das Wasser und so da rein zu pumpen. Nee, der ist im Wohnzimmer direkt neben der Couch.
Conveniently placed.
Well, the two teams that I'm quite surprised by, I would say, is probably the word, is Delatraz Automotive and World Sim Racing. You know, they've shown some speed. They've been on that bubble of the top 10, but just not converting, and so they've got to stay out of trouble. But those would be the two teams that I would have thought would have...
So. Aber fahren wir nochmal ein, zwei Ründchen. Wir sind dann auch im ersten Quarterfinal, ne? Als erste. Wann geht das los?
Locking enabled.
Geht dann... Geht der Server denn jetzt schon los? Kannst du uns Bescheid sagen, wie der Server da ist? Shiro, du bist ein Arsch. Geil. Okay. Langsam genug scheinbar.
Time 106.53.
Oh, Rennpace ist okay heute.
Time 106.40.
Log building finished.
So, fahren wir nochmal in Korean.
Locking enabled.
Schön verbremst auf jeden Fall.
Lap 106.37.
Dafür aufgesessen, Krise. Ihr habt aber ein Auge drauf, wenn ihr das Server online kommt, ne? Runde würde ich gleich nehmen.
106.23.
Wenn die nicht optimal war am Ende, aber
Log building finished.
um 2 nehme ich. Oh.
Logging enabled.
Aber ich will mal kurz auf Toilette. Ich habe langsam wieder ein bisschen Hunger, ey. Blockt.
This is going to be a fascinating race, and this is elbows out because there's no, oh, well, yeah, if we finish in this position, then we can maybe move through. No, no, first or second is good enough. Then penalty points come into account. We'll have to wait and see what happens on that one, but you've got to work your way through it. If you're not first or second, you have basically no chance of being
racing.
Certainly. So through the final corner and into position, we're ready for that run down into the first turn to see where the drama's really going to come from. Not sure which row is going to be coming out where our victor's coming from. I'm not so sure as in the previous races that it is going to be coming from the front row. We'll have to wait and see. The racing begins down into that opening corner. Who's had the best reaction to the start of the race? The Veloce Thrustmaster car is going to settle back into second position, I think. Bit of squeezing towards the barrier, and there is contact at the barrier, and the drama kicks out even into T1 way before it. Some clumsy mistakes. You can't squeeze into the barrier. What was happening back there? There is going to be some substantial penalties here, Arjuna.
Yeah, race control's got plenty to look at, but for the time being, sitting with Marco Lomi in the Gladius competitions machine.
Auch selten gesehen.
On a set of Corsa Competizione, and now Lomi's going to have to plot his path forward, watching him in the Veloce Thrustmaster car around the outside at turn 4, rips the lead away from Mattea. Oh, what a move! Maybe move of the day.
Yeah, and Aidan Walsingham, who of course had that fantastic victory back in ACC in the heats, and obviously Veloce Thrustmaster did look decent on their day back on ACC, and Aidan Walsingham might be the saviour here to push them through into the quarterfinals. We'll have to wait and see if that one's really going to unfold. A couple of looks in the background. I think that's Kamil Grabowski making a move for WSR.
And I think what we have seen is 4 cars effectively eliminated from any sort of contention, and those inside of the front 5 just about within striking distance. If things play out and start to become a bit more intense at the front of the field, I think we're going to have to see elbows out quite early on, and that's Darius Andre, I think, looking to get past Kamil Grabowski.
Yeah, indeed. Like I say, a couple of looks. This is what happened down at the
Das sieht aber auch wild aus, was da passiert ist.
Some serious silliness there. I'm not 100%. We're looking at Jack Olivier. I wonder if might have been the one that was squeezing into the barrier there, or was the one squeezed? I don't know. But either way, there was some low IQ driving, that's for sure.
And I think almost tried to replicate the low IQ driving up to turn 4, but they've figured out discretion is the better part of valor. Jack Olivier back alongside of Burrell.
Keine illegal Overtake, spannend.
Towards turn 7 and 8. But again, at this point, these drivers are done. They're not fighting for contention. They're fighting just to try and score some points moving forward to round 3 and hopefully stay out of some trouble.
Yeah, indeed. Like you say, you're still scoring points in that team's, in the overall championship from these positions. There we have the squeeze. I can't get over it. It was Jack Olivier that was the one squeezing.
Einfach dumm.
I know about you, but that is a slam dunk, a penalty.
Yeah, I mean, the car's already alongside, right? There's no question about it.
The only thing is obviously we spoke about this. Sorry to interrupt you there. The only thing we spoke about this bit on ACC is some drivers don't know actually where the rear end of the car is based on the mirrors, and that's why I've always said if you're jumping onto a new platform and even into a new car, it sounds stupid. In the pit lane, sit there and have a teammate or a friend or someone drive it basically.
Oder benutzt einfach das Radar, was dir gegeben wird. Aber
how dare you interrupt me? How dare you? No. You are right, and again, ignorance is not an excuse, right? It's the responsibility of the driver to be aware of all the threats and stuff, and so I get where you're coming from, but if that's the excuse, it's not really an excuse, right? It's again, slam dunk penalty. So oftentimes what people will do is they'll actually go and simulate racing scenarios in the sim. It's one of the things that a lot of real drivers actually use the sim for, more than trying to get the driving itself perfect, understanding how they need to use the brakes or whatever. Learn how the track itself is going to race, and so, you know, that's again something that is well within your control, should probably be part of everyone's practice.
Yeah, certainly so. As we ride on board with Van Aert, still a chance to move through here. in the second chance race. He's got Walsingham and Mattea and Lomi up ahead. Gladius, who of course came into this round third in the
Noch 6
standings,
Minuten im
may
Rennen.
definitely be eyeing up a quarterfinal here to continue their solid start to the 2025 season.
Aber das Event wird heute lang gehen, ey. Wir werden bis mindestens Mitternacht hier sitzen. Wenn nicht noch länger. Ja.
Knew that the first round was going to be the most favorite round in terms of the platform comfort, and this might be another one where they would have felt somewhat confident that they could even get to the quarterfinals. But yeah, the next few platforms are definitely going to start mixing things up a little bit more.
Oh, Setup, nope, this is fixed.
We'll kind of get, I think, our good sense by the end of this round as to which teams are really in discussion. As here comes Darius Andre trying to fight his way forward. Is he going to get up to fourth position?
Spin up ahead. Is it Lono? It's Rick Van Aal who's gone round. I think he had a bit of a look down the inside of Lomi and now see themselves backwards and down the order into seventh. You're absolutely right, seeing Darius Andre and Grabowski going into battle. Big gap between them and third place. Are they going to focus too much on each other though and not try and close down the top three? I'd sit there at the moment and try and close down on our top group.
Time's winding down though, there's only 4 and a bit minutes left to go. This though is definitely not ideal. Andre escorted off the track there by...
Oh, der eine freut sich auf jeden Fall. Wir haben direkt beide mit.
And here comes Van Earl back around the outside. There'll be 3 abeam down to the penultimate corner.
Yeah, I guess they just don't want to go through into the quarterfinals or even have a chance for it, Argentina. But either way, I mean, look, the bat is great. Don't get me wrong, bit 3 wide here down to the final turn. I just don't get the logic behind it. If they'd sat so far, they'd maybe have a chance.
Auf jeden Fall Content.
Doing this, there absolutely is not. And again, a reminder: only first and second, dependent on penalties, will go through from this race.
I'm going to steal a line that someone's just sent to me on Discord, but instead of calling it the last chance race, the reason why we call it the second chance race, because there's about 2 brain cells being shared amongst some of these drivers with some of the decisions being made often. You are so right, Lewis. All they are doing right now is costing themselves that chance of closing up towards the front.
Shots fired.
And if you're Marco Lomi, you've now got clean air behind you to just focus forward, as we see what happened to Van Earl in the Referox racing machine to turn 1. Oh, he almost took Lomi with him.
Yeah, I wondered if he'd maybe sent one down the inside of Lomi, but no, just the rear's locked up there into a tricky braking zone. And I will say that will have really knocked the confidence of...
Unser Auto ist nirgendwo. Das ist Second Chance Race, das ist für die Leute, die es nicht durchgeschafft haben in den Heats. Jetzt auch mal quasi so eine letzte Chance weiterzukommen. Danach sind wir erst wieder dran. Also wir sind nicht in dem Rennen. Ja, das Ding ist durch. Jetzt. So. Jetzt haben wir ein neues Data. Dann gehen wir nochmal rein hier. Jetzt noch nicht den Knopf drücken. Wo ist unser Server hier? So. Oh, nochmal ein Kodion. Ein Quali-Sprit. Das ist Quali-Sprit. Ist die Streckentemperatur hier so hoch? Warum sind die Track-Tab eigentlich so hoch hier? Wir haben sonst immer 33 circa, hatten wir aber auch in den anderen Practice-Servern.
That time was a 107.19. Lap 106.31.
Log building finished.
Ah, hier ist geil. Drin hier gekocht.